Yo, what's good? We're back. It's your boy, Madara28, here again, back again with another One Piece review for One Piece chapter 1059, the matter involving Captain Kobe. This chapter was pretty good. I'll start with things that I liked and didn't like, but were necessary. Obviously, things that I liked. Obviously, we got to see Amazon Lily. We got to see what happened with Boa, Blackbeard, everything going around the world, seeing all those things. Because I know in I think it was Jump Festa 2021 or 2020, when Oda was like, when we next hear about the outside world, it'll involve Kobe. It'll involve characters like what happened with Sabo, Princess Vivi, Boa Hancock, and so he's given us Boa, Sabo, who is now known as the Flame Emperor. We got to know about Blackbeard. Blackbeard did something to go from 2.2 billion, I think, was his bounty, to now he's 3.996 billion. So he did something. But yeah, I'm just liking how Oda's bringing that together, because he inferred it in 2021, and now he's bringing it to fruition here in 2022. And so I thought that was dope. What I didn't like but was necessary was getting those panels of Marco talking to Luffy, because they didn't talk once during the whole raid. My bad, I hit the mic. And then Yamato giving her real reason for not going out to sea, because the whole reason of needing to travel Wano, because Oden traveled Wano, was just ridiculous. And so, but now we realize she knew as well that it wasn't what Momo did, but it was the Conqueror's Haki from Shanks. And so she realizes that Momo and them are not ready yet for that type of threat, and so that's why she's going to stay in Wano. So I felt Oda could have cut out a lot of the stuff he did in Wano, like seeing 17 different reaction shots to Rise opening out the water. But whatever, we're beyond it now. We're out of Wano, thank God, and we're moving on. So I know a lot of people thought Boa would be captured or beaten by Kobe, and Oda gave that thought process or that agenda a resounding no. Not gonna happen, didn't happen. Kobe was getting folded by Marigold and Sandersonia. They said that they would take care of him. And when we saw him next, he was bleeding from the head and his mouth. He was getting jobbed by both of them respectively, so he's not near Boa's level. I mean, people were giving him praise for high diffing or extreme diffing a missile. Like that, come on, no. He's not that guy. He's not on Luffy's level. He's never going to be on Luffy's level. Luffy will always one punch Kobe. That'll be his running gag until maybe Oda proves me wrong, right? But let's get into it. The chapter starts off with the cover story of the Emotionless Excursion, Volume 18, Caesar's hallucination gas, and I just love that this also, again, puts to bed the agenda that, Future Sight does all this and that. No, Whole Cake Island Luffy beat Katakuri. Katakuri's not that guy anymore. He was just the antagonist for the arc to train Luffy. That was all he was. Now we see him getting negged. Everybody's I'm playing, but we see him struggling with Caesar Clown, someone that Luffy resoundingly beat. Yes, did Luffy lose the first encounter? Yeah, he did, because he didn't know how his powers worked. But for Katakuri to be able to see the quote-unquote de facto future, as people say he can, he didn't see Caesar Clown putting them in hallucinogenic gas. No, observation Haki is not all that. We know Kaido said it's Conqueror's Haki. It is what it is. That's the pinnacle. Only the strongest can do that. And so even though Rayleigh did say the strongest observation Haki users can see into the future, apparently he can't see everything, right? So obviously the chapter starts off again with Marco talking to the red-haired pirates. He's saying his farewells. He's like, and Marco's like 45, but he's saying he's old and that he doesn't really want to fight that much anymore. This new era belongs to Luffy and them. And so we see it again. He's saying his farewells to the Red Force, and aka Shanks and Beckman and them. And then that's, as I said, this is the next part is when we get Yamato talking to Luffy about her reasons to go ahead and stay in Wano, which are legitimate, but yeah, people would have wanted her to come. And then even Zoro was like, hey, just remember Momo has a lot of pride, right? And so that's why she came up with a lie that, oh, she wanted to travel all of Wano just like Odin did. I still want her to become her own character. The whole Odin shtick is always annoying. If she ever joins the Straw Hats, I want that shtick to be gone. It's not cool. That's just me though. You guys can let me know how you feel in the comment section. Right after that, again, that's when we get the actual conversation between Marco and Luffy. Luffy thanks him for saving him in Marineford, which we get one flashback shot of that. And then Marco talks to Jinbei, but he's like, that like fire, that zeal, how like they just jumped into it. It's kind of like when Sasuke blocked the needles from Haku when Haku was trying to hit he and Naruto with it, and Sasuke was like, I just moved. Marco was kind of saying the same thing, that just in that heat of the moment he just moved, and he was saying Jinbei basically did the same thing there at Marineford. And then right after that, right after we get out of the tiny flashback and Marco flying back to Sphinx Island, there is an ellipses there as he's flying towards Sphinx, so maybe Weevil is there already, because seemingly he's noticed something on the island. We then cut to Amazon Lily in present day. We see that half of the mountain has been cut, is missing. We see Boa Hancock is bandaged. She's saying that it's getting dangerous for her to even be there because the Marines are attacking the island. And clearly she cares about her sisters and her people there. And so she's saying it would probably be better for her to dip off the island. Then we get a flashback 2 weeks earlier. We see that obviously Yamakaji, the Navy Vice Admiral, he was in the Buster Call against Enies Lobby, and he was also at Marineford. He comes there with a new SSG inspired Seraphim, aka everybody. If you've watched the review already, then you know Seraph means fire. Obviously, biblical studies, a Seraphim are one of the four holiest angels next to Michael and Gabriel. In the hierarchy, they go around the throne of God saying holy, holy, holy. They have 6 wings in the Bible, 2 to cover their face, 2 to cover their body, and 2 to fly with. So 6 wings. Here in One Piece they only have 2, but it's just kind of cool as a Christian seeing Oda tie this into his story. And then it's almost like a double entendre as well, because the Celestial Dragons view themselves as God, and so now they have angels. So it's just funny how Oda does that. But these 2 Seraphim are, one is looking like a clone of Boa Hancock as she was a kid. The other one looks like a Mihawk as a kid. We know that Judge Vinsmoke is attributed with figuring out the lineage factor of human beings, and we know that he could grow a test tube baby. In 5 years they would be 20 years old, and they would be ready to be soldiers in the Vinsmoke Kingdom. Obviously, Vegapunk is seemingly the smartest of all of the Mads scientist group, and so it seems like he's taken what Judge figured out to the next level, because now he's also spliced them with Lunarian DNA. We did get the flashback of King Wildfire, aka Albert or Arbor. We know that they were taking his blood. Now they've mixed it in because these Seraphim have black wings. They have the white hair and the brown skin, just like King Wildfire did. And so again, it's just cool seeing Oda tie all this in one together. Blackbeard was apparently after the Mero Mero fruit, which is Boa's ability. And I think Oda said in the SBS that it's because how good Boa looks, that's why it's related to love. But if it were given to someone like Blackbeard, it would be fear. So, or like Kaido, so if you feared them, you would turn into stone. And so right here as well, simply because she's irresistible, even Blackbeard said if he let her go, because he gets attacked by the Mihawk Seraphim, he blocks it with armament hockey, and then he's a black hole. I don't know, like the anime is gonna have to fill this in because Oda did kind of like he almost rushed it a little bit because it's attacking him, and the next second is back attacking his men, and then he uses black hole. Boa goes to go kick Kobe because Kobe asked her to surrender. She's like, I'm not surrendering to y'all. She's been captured before, so she knows what the world government can do to someone like her. And so she goes in for a kick to kick him, and then that's when Blackbeard grabs her by the throat, takes away her ability to use her power. But before he before he grabbed her, she used her arrows to turn everybody there into stone. I forgot to mention two of his 10 Titanic commanders are with him, Vasco Shot and Katarina Devon. She turned everybody into stone except for Blackbeard and Kobe. Crazy. Yeah, so she turns everybody there into stone, and then that's when Blackbeard has her hemmed up by the neck, and then that's when she's letting him know that, hey, this is how my fruit works. Even if you take it, you can't unfreeze anyone because the previous user, the future user can't undo what the previous user did. And so, it's just a crazy scene. He's actually about to go ahead and do it, thus again confirming and affirming that he's not like Luffy. Luffy would never do anything like this. If it would endanger his crew, Luffy would back off of it. And so, but Blackbeard is like, he would literally sacrifice Katarina and Vasco Shot just to get her power. And it's only until Dark King Silver's Rayleigh shows up pouring out a bunch of Conqueror's Haki and unsheathing his sword, and Blackbeard is sweating. So that makes Blackbeard back off. And Blackbeard decides they negotiate the peace, and, Blackbeard leaves, and then that's when we get, by the end of the chapter, it's revealed that Shakuyaku, aka Shaki, was the former empress and the former captain of the Kuja Pirates 2 generations ago, which also shows Boa Hancock leaning on Rayleigh's leg. And so now there's speculation that Rayleigh is either Boa's actual father or stepdad, if you will, or just a father figure, because this is the first time we've seen Boa show affection to another man aside from Luffy. She's literally leaning on his leg, her head resting on his leg. So this is, again, it's the first time Boa has done anything like this. So there's genuine affection between her and Rayleigh. And again, Shaki is revealed to be from Amazon Lily, because we were always wondering where did she go to, or who was she, because it was said that Garp was chasing her 40 years ago. We know 40 years ago was Iraq's pirates. Also, Roger was around, Whitebeard, and so, again, it's just cool. Again, by the end of the chapter, we get to see the Seraphim with her eyes. Not with her eyes, but star-shaped eyes. The Mihawk one had the ring eyes. And then by the end of the chapter, we're hearing about Egghead Port, ship docking there. We see a galleon or a Navy ship sailing in the sea. It's revealed that Captain Kobe was kidnapped by Blackbeard or Kurohige. So, pretty cool chapter, pretty dope. About an 8 out of 10. Oda's been on it, though, with these post-Wano chapters, with these lore dumps that we're getting, just going around the world. Next, I do expect to hear from Vivi, because he said Sabo, Boa, and Vivi, we would learn their fates after Wano is done. Wano's done. We know about Sabo. He's the Flame Emperor. We know about Boa. Amazon Lily is safe for now. Now we need to know about Vivi. So I'm definitely excited for that to happen. This has been another review by a little addendum, because people are like, oh, these Seraphim are going to be overpowered. The Navy finally. I hate this. Anyway, I'll edit that bit out. But people are saying that this now puts the Navy back right there with the Yonko. And no, it doesn't. If Zoro could beat King the Wildfire, I'm pretty sure any top tier Yonko or anyone of Mihawk's caliber can beat these Seraphim as well. Zoro already knows the trick. When the flame is off, they are more vulnerable, but even King was guarding against Zoro even while his flame was on. So, it'll be interesting to see where it goes. But once that trick now, unless Vegapunk figured out a way to keep them to let them move just as fast, if not faster, with the flame on, that'll add a extra layer of difficulty. But seeing how Blackbeard blocked the swing and was not even bleeding from blocking the same swing that cut the mountain, nah. It's a cool unit. I definitely expect them to actually grow in age because, again, with Judge figuring out the lineage factors, he was able to have them in the tube for 5 years, and then once out, they would fully develop into their 20-year-old selves. So maybe these ones got pulled out earlier by Vegapunk, but do I expect them to be able to give a Yonko a run for his money? No, not at all. Again, it's a cool unit, but I don't think that they're going to be like that overbearing. Again, Zoro figured out the technique, so as I said, unless Vegapunk figured out a way to get rid of that weakness, all you would still have to do is use Conqueror's Coding to get through these guys. And I'm not making it sound like everybody has Conqueror's Coding, because there's only like maybe 5 or 6 confirmed users of Conqueror's Coding. 2 of them are dead, which was Roger and Whitebeard. Everyone else is Big Mom, Shanks, Luffy, Kaido, theoretically Mihawk as well if he is a Conqueror too. So yeah, about 6 or 7 confirmed Conqueror's Coding users out there who could take out these things. So anyway, that's a review from me, Madara28. I'm hoping to get this out by either later today or Tuesday for sure. But that's been my review. I will see you guys in the future. Later.